Hello and welcome to another episode of Good Beer Live. I'm Rob, and as always, I'm joined by two of my beery brothers and beer tube royalty. Craig, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. Not too bad. Been a yeah.
Well, I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm all right. Not too bad. Been a 2 seconds. It's me.
I can hear a bit of feedback from Craig.
Who's doing that?
Come on, Craig.
Yeah, I just thought I'd.
Right, we'll come back to Craig. Jake, how you doing, mate?
Good. I'm
Jake,
spitting
we'll go to the pro first.
Yeah, I'm spitting feathers.
Absolutely.
I need some beer.
So have you not got a beer already in your hands?
I just finished the Small Voice from Magic Rock. I had it with my dinner.
What did you think?
I actually quite liked it.
What did you think?
Yeah, it was pretty damn good. Really juicy. But not necessarily like New England style, but like just low bitterness and lovely and juicy and what you want in a session IPA, really.
Yeah, I think I had one on Wednesday. Yeah, it's a funny one because it's definitely something that you could potentially imagine having on cask. For me, I mean, it's got a lot of juice, as you said, low bitterness. It got a little bit of bitterness, but it's not a kind of like it's not a juice bomb. I mean, I think Magic Rock kind of fall between those two camps for me. They're not like desperate to keep up with trends, and they do like kind of quite balanced beers. I mean, I've known Richard for a long time, and he was always a big exponent of balance, and I mean, and not being completely won over by the New England style. So he's always got a foot on the West Coast. So second attempt, Craig, how are you, mate?
I'm good. Been looking forward to this for a little while, and yeah, next show and all that jazz. I had a few beers. Was it Wednesday evening or early hours of Thursday? I was on another hangout, and yeah, I had a couple of just Rebel IPA from Sam Adams and stuff like that. Fuller's, yeah, just regular stuff, nothing too flash or nothing. Just first beer for a week or so. That was so yeah.
Easier.
How are you finding that? Sam Adams? I mean, I had a bottle ages ago. I didn't like it, but then Harry from Blue Nose Beer Reviews, he's been a bit of a fan of that beer. So
I prefer it since the rebranding. It's a lot more. It's really kind of it's kind of freshish because obviously the new style of bottles and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really good. Nice kind of bready, biscuity malt mixed in there. Kind of a bit more old school than what all these juice bombs are about these days, but enough kind of hop fruitiness and citrusiness to get to keep you interested as well on that side. So yeah, good. And for the price, you can get like 4 bottles for £6. You can't go wrong sometimes. Absolutely.
I mean, and I think that's the subject we'll definitely come back to later. Is about the kind of the evolving trends of IPA. I mean, because I think it's one I talked about quite a lot last week, and I had a bottle share which I'm going to start doing at my local bottle shop, the Triangle in Shipley in West Yorkshire, and it was also part of Triannuary as well. But I mean, that was definitely despite not really drinking many hoppy beers, apart from what Stuart brought, which was. Stuart went for very much a cheap night out. Well, I'll get onto that later as well. But yeah, so I mean, but it was definitely kept coming up into the first beer. I would like to kindly thank our sponsors, Honest Brew. Discover a range of beers from best independent craft breweries from around the world at honestbrew.co.uk. You can find the likes of Beavertown, Siren, Cloudwater, Northern Monk, and many more. And also remember to enter the promotional code GOODBEERLIVE. That's all in one word, all in caps, and you'll get £10 off and free shipping on all our orders over £35. Terms and conditions are in the show notes below. And as Jake expressed his level of thirstiness, I think we better get a beer up. And Craig, do you want to introduce the first beer?
Yep. Okay. So this is from the Track Brewing Company. They're out of Manchester, and this is the Koda Lactose IPA. Light's rubbish there, but yeah, it's the first actual beer I've had from the brewery, on its own. So kind of looking forward to seeing what it's about.
Yeah, so Track been around a couple of years. I think it started out really quite small scale. They located a couple of doors down from Cloudwater's barrel store. Also open on, I don't know if it's just Fridays and Saturdays. I think Track are now open. I mean, they used to do it like once every 2 months or something. And it was a bit nuts. It was a bit of a party. It was a bit like DJs on, but you couldn't get to the bar and stuff. It was a bit nuts. But I mean, last year I thought they started making strides, and I mean the new set of bottles that have come out recently, I think for me have been exceptional. So, shall we take a look at this one? So, what's ABV on this?
6.5, I think.
6.5, yeah. I have had a bottle of this, so I'm not gonna pretend. But I mean, I'll be really interested on kind of like your interpretations of what it is and like expectations before you get into it. So, shall we take a look at it?
Go for it. Yes, it's clearer than what you're used to seeing.
So, certainly at this stage of the bottle, anyway. I mean, I haven't poured all of mine in.
I stupidly did a full pour,
right.
or smartly did a full pour.
No, exactly. I mean, I don't think it is. If it is bottle conditions, there's not a hell of a lot in it. I'm just looking down my bottle. Can't see a hell of a lot of stuff in it. That's exactly what my impressions were.
Yeah, it's almost like a chill haze, rather than any sort of like murk or haziness or anything like that, really. But I mean, I'd almost border on sort of like an unfiltered lager. That's the sort of look about it. It's got
definitely got that kind of thing going on with it. The colour wise, it's pitched about there, but yeah, it's hazy without being like crazily soup or gravy or whatever you want to call it.
See, this is the thing. I mean, we're being conditioned to expect IPA to be hazy, at least hazy.
Yeah.
I mean, not because that's. I mean, I'm just Magic Rock's Dancing Bear, which is a lager. I mean, that's absolutely pinned right. Look at the state of that. You can see my weird distorted face from it. And I mean, it's haze, but it's. I mean, I gotta say. I mean, what's the expected kind of level of murk these days? Do you always expect it? Or
I don't personally, but I go more on what it tastes like than what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're a grown-up, Craig, that's why. You're a sensible man.
Not really. Not really.
Well, I was just, yeah, it's blatant
rocking the beer. Well, yeah, thank you. I'm glad you admit that.
So, shall we, I think Jake can't cope with...
I'm chomping at the bit.
So, shall we check out the aroma?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Kind of got like a melon-ish quality.
Yeah.
I'm getting like a peach yogurt.
Peach yogurt, absolutely. Yeah, it has got that little bit of sweetness on it where you're getting from kind of like... It's not natural yogurt, it's like ski yogurt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or whatever your preferred brands of
Other
yogurt
brands
are these
days.
Can you even get ski yogurt anymore? I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't know really.
Don't know.
Muller Light. I don't know.
I'm always down the beer aisle.
But it's definitely got that. It's definitely got a little sweeter note to it. Maybe kind of like brioche. I mean, you're getting kind of bready, but you're getting a little bit of kind of sugary sweetness. Yeah,
there is like a I just looked on the thing there. It doesn't say it on there, but I'm getting like a bit of an oatiness to it.
Yeah, it doesn't say they don't mention oats on the bottle. Yeah, it said melon. Melon's massive on it. It's one of the. Do you know? I never remember which is honeydew and which is cantaloupe. The little round, cracked one.
That's cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe.
That's cantaloupe.
Yeah, there's your go. It's cantaloupe melon from it, big time. And a bit of lime and lemon.
Yeah, it's very subtle. It's not massively bold or anything, but there's a lot of things going on in it, but not on a massive level kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's kind of like everything you're expecting it says lactose IPA. What am I thinking? What does that make me think in the first place? I don't know. And then you're thinking it's IPA from this cool Manchester brewery. It's going to be hazy. So you're kind of setting certain expectations. I think it confounds all of it, but I don't think it kind of disappoints.
No, it's definitely different to what I thought it was going to be. Just like you say, it's all the signals are there for it to be a hazy IPA, especially having lactose added to it, and then it's not. Should we go for a taste?
Absolutely. Let's dive in. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. Very smooth. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the lactose, isn't it?
Yeah.
The lactose is often that softness and the smoothness and a bit of, once again, that sweetness.
Yeah. It's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. Some lactosey. I mean, not that I've had many in this style with lactose in, of course, but certainly with the stouts, they can be. Wow, that is sweet. But this it's almost quite mellow sweet. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I guess not amongst Lassie IPAs, they've had a lot of lactose in, and they have definitely got that kind of sugary sweetness. That's just got kind of like vanilla-y, kind of sweetness.
Yeah, it's an absolute crusher, though.
Oh,
absolutely.
The ABV is having a laugh on this bottle. I don't believe it. It's one of those. It's just like, okay, 2 or 3 of them, and you're there.
It's such a well-rounded beer. I think the lactose, the mouthfeel just makes it seem so smooth and lovely. There's like a bit of like a citrus piffiness to it, but it's not like sharp or acidic really.
No.
It's
really good edges to it all.
No edges. Yeah,
that's it. What I was saying at the start is expectations are haze and then bags of like big pungent aroma, but as we've experienced, quite a clear beer, nice soft nose, but then the flavor. I mean, there's a lot of flavor to it. Okay, it's not kind of like massive punchy as the next beer might be, but as you guys said, absolutely crushable.
Oh, it reminds me in some regards of the Apollo ice cream pale. It's got that kind of vanilla-esque kind of thing going on with it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Nice beer. Nice beer.
Yeah, peach. I'm definitely getting a lot of peach. Once again, cantaloupe melon.
I can't stop drinking it. I poured the full bottle in, and I've sort of got half a glass left already.
It's got to go out.
They need to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to go outside.
Put it out of my way. Get it out of my eyesight. So you can. It's like having a big bag of crisps open. If you see, you can't just leave them, can you? You got to keep. You got to just keep going back for more.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, where's that go?
Yeah, uneaten roast potatoes that you don't plate up. They're not going to last much longer. Next time you go back in the kitchen, you're going to grab one, aren't you?
Yeah, then people say, where have all them gone? I said, well, you left them there. So it's like, it's your fault.
I actually brought a few more stuff on track from Honest Brew, and I'm just so interested to like look through the glass to see if they're cloudy or not. that was definitely.
Which other ones?
That's the New England.
Did you get?
That's going to the sun. New England IPA, which is going to be cloudy, and then the Altered State Lemon Acid IPA, which doesn't look that hazy. But yes, it's funny. You saw, like you said, it's a trendy brewery who they've been around for a couple of years, but now they're starting to actually you see them a lot more places now, and it's good that they're not just chucking out hazy IPA just because it's the in thing. They've actually done something interesting here and really crushable.
It's impressive for sure.
Yeah, as you've got the New England IPA, Jake. I think that was their first attempt at that style. As it happens, it's pretty much a year ago today. I went to the Manchester camera cider and beer festival, which is really good actually. It's, I think last day tomorrow. It's a really good festival. And they had a bar, all keg, no cask, which is really good. But I think that was the day that they debuted.
Cool.
Oh, I've got me empty there. Going to the sun. What's it smell like a week on? Nice. And that was really good. But pretty much everything that they had on their bar is IPA or hop forward. Sonoma being the beer that they're kind of known for, which is a session strength kind of pale ale. People rave about that on cask, and it's a fantastic cask ale. But when they packaged Sonoma, an IPA and a stout a couple of years ago, and then just didn't package anything for ages, and I guess got the feet under them a bit more, and then when they felt like they were in a position to compete with their neighbours, I mean they've got some friendly but very. I mean, if you're a neighbour of Cloudwater's, you've got to be able to stand on your feet, aren't you? So, and I think now with this new set of bottles, have been really good. So, and I think they're a brewery to watch as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like they took the same sort of tactic as Burnt Mill. Is like focus on actually getting the beer good in keg. Choose a medium, stick to it. Don't think you have to cover all bases first, because Burnt Mill didn't start chucking their cans out until they're happy with what they're producing in keg, and it seems like it pays off for breweries because it sort of builds up an expectation, and then when the bottles do finally like hit online stores and everything or bottle shops, everyone's like, oh, someone told me about how good that is. I'm going to get it, sort of thing. It's good word of mouth tactic, even if they didn't mean it to be.
That's a good point. That I mean, there are a lot of breweries that'll appear and they'll have packaged beer straight away, and I think that's quite a big expectation that somebody's going to straight away jump on your beer. I think Cloudwater pretty early doors. They were packaging pretty much from the start. I know they did like essentially a bit of a tour around prominent beery places in the UK with just draft only to get the word out. And obviously there were quite a pedigree behind a lot of people involved in that brewery. So there were always high expectation. But yeah, it is a bit of a risk. I mean, it's like, I'm in your brewery. Here's my free bottles of core range. You've not built up any reputation. You've not built up any expectation from customers. No demand. That I think that's risky, because I don't know about you guys, but I see them appearing on bottle shop shelves and thinking, who's that?
Yeah.
Just
randomly. I mean, I think it's better to be like somebody you've had on draft a load of times, gone, oh, that's fantastic. Then you think, oh, I'll get plenty of them because I've built up a fondness for them.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to go, and I think it's obviously it probably gives the brewery a little bit more sort of like cash flow, because they're not having to put it into packaging. They can just focus on kegs and sort of get the beer to how they want it to be and get it into pubs. Because maybe it's like a bit more immediate, the response, if it's in a pub, and maybe you're more willing to try stuff, whereas in a bottle shop you're confronted with loads of things and you pick what is attractive to you, whereas on a keg you might not even have a pump clip. You can only go by name and style, sort of thing. So.
Then it's like, oh, I've not seen that before, give that a try, I'll have a third of that just to see. I think, oh, that's stonking, and then it's like, I'll have 2/3, please, and then all of a sudden you see a bottle of something else you've not had from them, and then it's cool. It's just, there's so much choice now, though, isn't there? It's just like, okay, calm down, settle down.
That's remember that kind of point. We'll talk about that in a bit. That's a really good point. Yeah, choice is a real problem. I was just listening to Hopinions on my way home today, and that's one of the things that they were kind of like talking about, was to do with like choice and how you stick to certain styles, but then there's so much choice, and how it kind of like how making that beer buying decision becomes more and more difficult, unless you watch fun, entertaining, educational live broadcasts on YouTube periodically, and maybe we can inform you and offer you a very competitive discount code as well. But without further ado, I've got to say I'm pretty excited about the next beer. I've not had it, believe it or not.
Wow.
If you two gents want to move on to the next one,
that's even more.
I feel like I should have worn my t-shirt and then kind of like tore off my jumper to reveal my Verdant t-shirt. I am a unabashed Verdant fanboy, and I've not had this one. So I'm really excited to try it. So the next beer that we're going to be looking at is Verdant's Track and Field India Pale Ale at, what is the ABV? 7.2% ABV.
7.2, yeah.
And one thing I like on the new Verdant cans, where they're giving you the ingredients. So, so a single malt, interesting. So just best ale. It's not one that I'm familiar with. Best ale malt. Or is that sounds like a thing you'd find on like a camera says this is real ale bottle in it. Best ale malt, best ale malts, and best Kentish hops.
Yeah. A beer for athletes. This one. Yeah.
So best ale malt, and then it's hopped with Simcoe Mosaic, and the yeast is Lalbrew, New England. Is that Lalman? Maybe Lalman's New England yeast. I think they've used that a few times. Oh, it's got a bit of a spiel on it. Is what it says. I'm not going to go through that because it's giving us tasting notes.
No, don't want to.
One thing that they did say, this was kind of like their homage to Alchemist's Focal Banger.
Yeah, they said their first homage. So I don't know if they're doing a bit of a series, like dedicated to it.
Oh, interesting.
It's interesting because I actually preferred Focal Banger to Heady Topper when we got to try them last year. So that's why I really wanted to sort of like try this beer, and because it probably misremember it now because we had a few that night, but
did we? Can't remember.
couple.
Yeah,
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Of each.
Tell you what, these headphones are crap for drinking. I need to get some video. Every time I go back, it's like, well, first world problems of being a beer tuber.
So, beer in the glass, quite dark. Darker than I expected.
A bit more malt presence.
Kind of like burnt orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like an amber coloured beer, really. Maybe it's that best ale malt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Best ale colours.
When you think of ale malt, it will be a little bit toasted.
Yeah.
Almost like a slight blood orangey colour.
And I mean, not on the scale of. I think I'm going haze for days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not murk for months, and it's not unclear for years, without a doubt. In it, but and I've noticed this with Verdant. They do have some like the new canning of putty, which is absolutely incredible. That looks like turkey gravy. Does that? But it is beautiful. But I love that they're not being pegged as a one-note wonder.
Yeah.
And they can knock out a beer that is still real on current trend. It's not that hazy, really.
And I suppose if Focal Banger is their sort of like what they're achieving, that's not an uber hazy beer. It's. I mean, they always say like the Alchemist started that sort of like hazy movement in a way, but they're still not like ultra hazy. And that if you had them beside each other, they'd probably look pretty similar.
I mean, this is just over 2 weeks old. It was canned on the 10th of January, according to the base.
It's not bad, that, is it?
No. Could be the nice Goldilocks zone of New England IPAs.
Indeed.
Shall we check out the aroma?
Let's go for it.
Cool.
Ooh. That's so different to the last beer.
Yeah, it's different. That is very...
quite spicy.
Yeah. It's got a pepper edge to it.
It's
kind of black peppercorns for me.
Picking up some other kind of fruit as well.
A lot of papaya.
Yeah, I'm getting like dried apricots is a big one. I'm getting like a bag of dried apricots.
Dried apricot and dried mango.
Yeah.
Not kind of fresh, juicy. But then actually, I'm getting fleshy mango as well now.
I'm picking up like.
Trying to think.
Yes, it's a slight bit of dankness maybe, but I don't know if that's the spicy edge sort of.
Well, it's Simcoe and Mosaic, so you mean they're your dank hops 1 and 2, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's quite full on kind of aroma. A little bit perfumey.
Yep. It's taking me back to kind of beers, earlier beers that kind of made a big thing about Simcoe, like Weyerbacher's Double Simcoe, which kind of takes you down to like more of a berry route. I'm getting maybe a hint of like softer cranberry, not kind of like uber tart, sharp cranberry, and maybe a bit of raspberry, maybe strawberry even, because there is a sweetness to it.
Yeah, it's like sweet and spicy, like the spicy edge. Like I sort of breathe it in and I get mango, and then it's almost followed by like a little hint of like chili or pepper or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm picking up almost a slight kind of wine quality to it, like a wine cask, something like that. Just that
bit of rosé.
Yeah.
But, no, it smells great. Shall we dive in?
Interesting. Yep.
Cheers. Oh
yeah,
that's good. I got a massive watermelon thing at the front.
Yeah, watermelon, big time. Definitely watermelon. The green one.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, and there's like a grassy earthiness to it. It's nice.
Yeah, earthy and spicy. Watermelon, big watermelon. Watermelon and kind of strawberry and grapefruit, but not sharp kind of grapefruit. I guess that's where that kind of that more the watermelon's kind of taken over.
A posh curry beer.
Posh curry beer. Got a lovely creamy mouthfeel.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's like different. It's like different to like the ultra hazy New England IPA mouthfeel, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is like you say. It's a bit more creamy, a bit more slick. It's not like pillowy or anything like
that. Yeah, it's not chewy. It's more kind of like it's kind of edging on kind of nitro kind of esque. It's got that kind of real soft, creamy.
Yeah,
and it is still, and it's retaining that head as well, which maybe it's kind of adding to that. That's it's really funny. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I'm a bit up and down with Simcoe. Sometimes I love it when it's done nicely and it's made juicy. I think this is the kind of juicy side of Simcoe.
Yeah,
maybe the mosaic's kind of backing up the kind of the juice.
It's not too green either, considering. I mean, some beers can still be a bit green at this stage. I mean, was it 2.5 weeks? So, that's
I seldom had those problems with Verdant though. I've not had them many green beers from them. I think maybe Further might have been a bit green when I first had it. But once again, about 6 cans of that last year, and it was good. But the last 3 cans are much better than the first 2. So, I mean, the putty that I had on like Wednesday night. I mean, I got that was canned like 6 days before, and that is absolutely banging. Right. But that's such a different beer because that's pineapple and mango and grapefruit, and it's quite vibrant considering how murky it is. But this is, as we were saying, spicy, slightly jammy, sweet, dank, but not kind of musty. Dankness isn't going in the direction where, for me, dank becomes a little bit unappealing. It's a bit like a damp towel that's been left like near the back door for a week.
Yeah,
I hate that taste. So.
You should stop eating. You should stop licking those damn towels.
I know towels. You know, what can I say?
Yeah, I guess it's that maybe that ammonia kind of edge that everybody says like cat pee. I I try and avoid as much cat piss as possible.
Yeah.
In my day-to-day life.
Sometimes you just got to though. Yeah. That's the thing.
To expand your palate, you've just got to try it something.
It's just part of the education. That's all.
At least that's
it's a cross that we bear.
When I got caught that time.
Wow.
That's good. Would you, if no one, because obviously we're beer geeks and we read up about these beers and everything, if someone just sort of knows Verdant superficially as a New England style IPA producer, do you reckon they'd be disappointed, or do you reckon they'd be like, what the hell is that? Or do you reckon they'd be pleasantly surprised?
That's a good point.
It could be
not what I'd expect.
It might divide opinion, possibly. There's a chance.
I forgot the name of the other one that I'm thinking of, but for me, it's not a million miles away from what pulp is. I mean, pulp's quite a dank, maybe a bit more juice, a bit more kind of like sharpness from pulp. But if you're going in blind, I think you'd look for something maybe not as nuts as what putty is. Putty is, I think, onto another level. But Neil gets things done. Maybe headband to a certain degree. No, headband's a bit more accessible. I'm thinking, the Manifesto. I think it was something Manifesto. The collab they did with Honest Brew, which is just out again. They're the kind of beers I think when you're going in. If you've heard the hype, you've heard things about this kind of New England style beer. I think they're the kind of ones you'd be looking for. The kind of more citrus, but then soft juice.
Yeah,
this is on the dank side of things. So
this is the first can I've had
quiet taste
for quite a long time. So apart from them two, we was in London that time.
Yeah. So exactly. That was I think that was Mary Lou.
Mary Lou, and I can't remember the other one without being rude.
But that one's quite kind of pineapple and grapefruit. The kind of more straightforward juice. So saying that, I mean, you've had Verdant before, Craig, but you've not had you haven't had one in a while.
Yeah.
Going in, what were you thinking? Kind of like crazy kind of grapefruit juice bomb kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's just not what I was expecting. But I still think it's awesome beer. It's not dropped off just because it looks slightly darker, and it's still, the quality is still there.
Yeah,
I've just never had a bad beer from this brewery, so
very balanced for the style. I mean, there is noticeable malt character.
Yeah,
which I don't mind.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
no, me neither.
This is almost say it's more edging towards more of a West Coast. I think I'd probably go for slightly rather than
yeah.
It's got that kind of feel to it, you know.
I'd say they've hit their brief of going more for Alchemist style of beers.
Yeah,
because Alchemist don't produce those ridiculous hazy things that like Trillium or Treehouse do. They still produce that almost in between thing of East Coast and West Coast. So
yeah,
I think that's probably hit that.
Yeah, no, I think you bang right with that. I guess that's
Midwest IPA.
It's the kind of, when you see Trillium and Treehouse, it's the kind of uber pale, really murky kind of like beer. So I think that's when you're going in uninitiated, then you might expect those type of beers. I think that's maybe what I was searching for before. This kind of it's a beery memory. Do you know when you've had a beer in the past and you think you kind of like you've got a vague recollection of like the experience of the aroma and the taste and stuff. It kind of takes me back a little bit in a certain characteristic way to when we were drinking Sierra Nevada Celebration, which has got that kind of maltier edge.
Yeah.
slightly kind of autumnal in a certain way, but
it's
still
sticky, that kind of sticky, resiny thing.
Yeah.
It's just, but I love that style because you just don't see much of that kind of thing anymore.
I mean, not as traditional as that is, but I mean, it's kind of like kicking into those little kind of flavor memories for me.
Yeah, it's good, which is good. It's nice to see as well because, especially a brewery like Verdant doing it, it's like, yeah, that's good.
Maybe
exactly. I mean, that's
signaling a change of that. Breweries might be getting a bit bored of producing these murky beers all the time.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think
expand it a bit.
Well, I think they've nailed down the New England kind of style. So,
well, some
perhaps they're just more.
Some have.
Well,
some have.
Verdant have.
Well,
yeah. They've yeah. But yeah, so I mean, this is going down this route, and fair play to them.
Well, as we were saying earlier, I mean, the evolution of style. I mean, when I'm sure most of us guys were getting into this type of beer, well, kind of like kind of progressive English stuff influenced by the US. We were kind of it was mainly kind of West Coast IPA, kind of bitter, where beers that kind of like promoted themselves on bitterness, and now we've swung in a completely different direction, gone from clear to hazy to fucking turbid, really, a lot of the time, and from very bitter to kind of really quite sweet a lot of the time. Like the Track beer, quite a sweet beer, not over the top, but sweet in itself. It's kind of where do you personally kind of see potentially things going in your kind of like your beer soaked crystal ball? I mean, for me, breweries like Burt Mill kind of like maybe hint towards what I think where we may be going. I think Magic Rock have always kind of like, as I was saying earlier, always kind of steered towards the West Coast. Always had their kind of like foot in that camp. So I personally, I can see a bit more like that.
Yeah,
clearer.
I can see
a bit more bitter. I think bitterness will return.
Yeah, I can see the trend sort of go into more drinkability. So it might not ever return to that ultra bitter sort of like, God, that's good, but I can only have one of those. And it's not going to be ultra murky sort of gloop in a glass. It is going to be a mishmash of both, but it's going to be about, can I sit down and enjoy this beer? I think that's what a lot of people are going to go for, rather than going to the extremes, because the extremes have been sort of hit. Yeah. So now it's going to be that sort of like, okay, let's actually make a high quality beer where people aren't moaning about it needing to sit in the can for 3 weeks before we drink it, and all that sort of stuff. Right?
It's that kind of in between style kind of beer, almost. Yeah. And I don't think there'll be one style of beer that's just massively hyped. I think it will be several. It will drop off. It has to. It can't carry on. But who knows with the way brewing techniques have evolved over the last, say, 10 years, etc. Who knows what the next 10 years are going to hold with beer? It's just like no one ever thought that it would get to where it is now 10 years ago. So who knows?
Yeah, well, going on from that, I was listening to an interview with John Keeling, who's just about to retire from brewing as brewmaster at Fuller's, and one of the things he was kind of like encouraging and was that, I mean, that how the current kind of wave of beer, he was kind of reflecting on the work they'd done with the Fuller's and Friends box, and that they were being, a lot of the beers that were being produced for that box were looking at kind of like Fuller's back catalogue and things like that, and their history, and then obviously also looking kind of like forward in certain regards. Let's not talk about the Cloudwater IPA, but his kind of like theory was we should be looking to our brewing past maybe, and kind of blazing our own trail opposed to just kind of following the trends of the US. Because I mean, for me, you're thinking this beer is directly influenced by an American beer. Now we've discovered what we've discovered from replicating their styles. Where do we go now? Do we kind of like look at British ingredients? Do we look at beers from the past and can learn from that? I mean, do we now start to create our own individualism opposed to just following what's been done in America?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen on social media beer experts saying that the next big trend's going to be Pilsners. And it's like, what?
They say that every year.
And I'm like,
they keep fucking saying
exactly
that.
Again, and it's like, I just don't. I mean, they're very. I like them. Don't get me wrong. They're really nice, especially when in the summer months, of course. But like a start-off beer. But to think, oh, I've got to rush out and buy a Pilsner. Oh, I'm going to get 6 cans of Pilsner.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do that.
The reason IPA is probably, if you took a straw poll, it'd be everyone's favourite style, is because it is so changeable. If you don't like that style of IPA, you get that style of IPA. And if you don't like that brewery brewing that IPA, you like that brewery brewing that, because it's so changeable and the lines are so blurred. Whereas Pilsner is sort of like Pilsner. Like some are better than others. I think that's why IPA is so popular, because it's so changeable. And you can have one and absolutely love it, and then you can have another which is still called an IPA and go, no, that's not for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it would probably go down the road. Let's just hop the hell out of a Pilsner, and it's like that's not the reason for me personally why I want to drink a Pilsner. I'll just go for a pale ale. It's just that's it.
Good point.
There you go.
Yeah, well, I've got a lager on the go, as I said, what I started with, and as nice as that is, I mean it's a Magic Rock beer. Am I going to pick a can of this up or a can of Inhaler? I'm going to get Inhaler, 99.999% of the time. Because that's probably down to personal preference. But I completely agree with you. Yeah, I've heard prominent kind of like beer writers kind of saying that Pilsner's grown in America and stuff, and it's going to be the new one. Nah, I just really don't see it.
Yeah,
I really don't see that at all.
It's just not exciting. Like when you go out and spend your money, you want to get the 15% barrel aged stout. You don't want to get the new Pilsner. do you know what I mean? You might have some at home. You might get some and keep some in the fridge. But it's for beer geeks anyway. I can't see that, because I can't see the trends like going that way for beer geeks. Everyone loves Pilsner, but it's not the beer you go out and drink. If you're like paying, you might have one, you might have a couple in a beer garden.
They're a good barbecue beer. Good barbie beer out in the garden, frying up a leg of lamb or whatever you want to do, and have a Pilsner. Sweating there.
Agree, yeah.
It's one of them beers for me. But
it's a time and a place.
Indeed. Yeah, you don't have to think about it.
For a Pilsner. Yeah. If someone called a beer that so far, Pilsner, time and place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So just you don't want to think about it too much. Just want to drink it because it's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're trying to reach the masses, why are they going to pay probably more for a kind of like craft lager, as they are often referred to? I mean, this Magic Rock one. I mean, it's beautifully produced, and I can find you a handful of German ones that are as good, if not better. But I can find you a lot of German ones that don't even come close to the quality. But the kind of your average kind of man or woman on the street who's choosing to drink a pint of lager, I don't think they're going to go, give me a Dancing Bear over a pint of Stella. I don't know. I can't see it myself.
I would,
because it's not different enough. I mean, yeah, but if you've got choice, if it's not different enough. And I think if you're choosing to drink the kind of beers that we're drinking tonight, you make that decision because it's different. It's significantly different, because I don't want that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
There we go. It's in the show now.
Was that the first one?
I think that's the first one. I think you did one pre going live.
I'll look forward to the check in the post. It's okay.
The royalty check. Yeah, Craig's trademarked that.
Yeah, it's monetized.
We're going to make t-shirts.
Afraid.
Yeah.
That's one thing that will always be monetized. That word. So, unlike anyway, that's another story.
That'll be that's the next wave of YouTube, monetizing phrases and words. Yeah. Simon had been making a killing, wasn't he, on Stone the Crows, yeah. Christ on the Bike.
Yeah.
Juicy Blood Orange. All the other ones. Yeah.
As I rock the beer.
As I rock a beer. He's clearing up. Maybe that's the future. The intellectual property of online beer reviewers.
I could do unclear for years.
Well, I thought you'd already done that.
I've looked into it. The lawyers are on that at the moment.
An unfortunate kind of like a semi-translucent t-shirt.
Yeah, slightly hazy t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to stop myself pouring all of that out right now because I think I could.
It's I've drunk more than I thought I would. It's like, oh my word, that is good.
No, it's Verdant. It's killer.
The
kings of IPA. I'm gonna say it here. If you didn't expect me to say it earlier, I'm saying it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's good shit.
It's good stuff.
The third and final beer, Jake. Do you want to do the honors?
Yeah. So this is Sheltered Spirit from Siren Craft Brew. It is a 14% bourbon barrel-aged Imperial Porter with tamarind. So
big boy beer. Big boy beer.
It's actually tamarind and chili.
Mm.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I read up a little bit about that. Someone had it on Instagram or mentioned this beer earlier on Instagram, saying, wow. So we'll see.
And I'm not even going to try and read the back of these bottles. I'm going to say, Darren, if you're watching, I can't read these bottles. And my eyesight is pretty good, but goodness me.
They need a little bit of separation.
The back of Siren bottles.
The viewers can't read it either, and it's like, look at that.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
Ooh.
The big S.
Yeah, I can just about make it out.
They haven't skimped on filling this bottle. Mine's literally.
No, I've got to mention that. It was like right to the top.
Like, that's impressive.
Value from get on HonestBrew.co.
Yeah, so get on Brew. Exactly, that was my segue. Yeah.
Use the promotional code GOODBEERLIVE. You get £10 off and free postage. You can get a bottle of this. I think I had a wee nip of this at Dark City. I think they just bottled it and they gave away a couple of some little tasters. I think it was when you were there. Actually,
yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think it was this, but I didn't remember it being a barrel aged beer. But I had quite a few barrel aged beers that day. But yeah, so this Sheltered Spirit from Siren was on Rate Beer have just kicked out all their kind of like New Year kind of awards and kind of ratings and all that business for 2017. This was rated the #1 beer in Berkshire for 2017. So that was good. We knew that beforehand. Obviously, we'd gone. This is probably the best beer in Berkshire. We better get that on the next episode of GOODBEERLIVE.
Does that come from camera? Did it?
No, Rate Beer.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I'm just trying to see if I can see any other interesting bits and bats what are in this. Yeah, it says so. Ingredients: water, malted barley, wheat, rye, tamarind, chili, hops and yeast.
They brewed it in 2016 apparently, and it's been sitting in a barrel since then.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Impressive.
So, beer in the glass. What colour? I wouldn't say it's black. I'm just going to hold it up to my light up here, and it's definitely kind of like a
cherry hues.
Yeah.
Mahogany.
Mahogany.
Mahogany. Perfect. Because it's brown, but it's kind of reddish.
There's a red tinge, like a red wine almost.
It's just sticking to the glass.
a wisp of head. I mean, it's a barrel aged beer, so I mean, carbonation looks pretty good. It's still looking like it's not lifeless, and that's for sure.
No, it's
for a 14% beer as well. When I put this down on the list for the show for Honest Brew to send us over, I didn't actually notice it was 14%. But fuck it. It's Friday night, innit? Get your 14% beers out.
Yeah. Start sessioning them now.
That's where I've got one of these bottle openers, so I'm saving the rest.
Oh, very nice. So
looks like a stapler.
That's how I open my bottles of beer.
All right, just a hole in the top, and that's it.
Anyway, we got to smell this beer.
Absolutely. I'm really trying my hardest not to smell it.
Yeah, it is jumping out.
You know,
it's like a magnet. I had to.
Whoa!
Oh man!
Fresh from the bottle, I was picking up like freshly laid hay in a rabbit hutch from the bottle before I put it.
Very poetic.
Yeah,
but it's not now.
I've got like dark chocolate with chili in it. You know, you can get those like chili infused dark chocolates. That's what jumped out at me.
Getting lots of bourbon. There is a bit of booziness on that as well.
Yeah. It smells
big dark cherry for me. Balsamic vinegar as well. Not too sharp, but
no. Bit of a Christmas thing going on with this one.
Yep.
Christmas kind of thing going on with it, for sure. Bit of brandy, maybe.
Yeah, that smells good though.
It's slightly leathery. I mean, I wouldn't say it doesn't smell massively boozy, but I'm definitely getting kind of like a varnish, kind of maybe slightly kind of phenolic note. Stings
the nostrils a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely
yes.
it lets you know that it's it's a sipper. It's not a chugger.
I mean, tamarind. I mean, my experience with tamarind. I mean, I'm not getting a hell of a lot. I'm getting a bit of that, but not loads. Kind of slightly plum-like as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the spice I'm getting is chili, really. But I mean, I don't have that much. I've not been exposed to tamarind that much to differentiate it, really.
I mean, definitely, it's more of a chili kind of bourbon kind of blend almost. It's got that. That's the more prominent.
I think we might pick more. I'll get onto that in a minute, but I think we'll probably get a bit more tamarind in the flavour. I mean, just thinking about last time I had tamarind, but let's dive in.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
Bloody hell.
That is a sipper.
That's good, though.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Enough sweetness to keep you going.
Well, on the back end, that sweetness is really, it's definitely coating the palate and all that kind of.
Yeah.
Ooh, loads of vanilla. Just sitting here, got a big whack of like vanilla essence.
I'm getting a kind of a nut quality now. About 15 seconds after.
Yeah. I'm getting like
don't know what it is.
Soaked raisins.
Soaked raisins, yeah. Definitely cakey. Cherry.
Yeah. Christmas cake. Vanilla.
Yeah, that
definitely getting.
Great.
I don't know if I'm not getting chili heat. Not like kind of like an attack of it, but I'm getting a gentle warmth kind of like hanging around afterwards. But it's like so go on.
No, it's just like almost like there's a slight kind of walnut in there, sort of. Yeah, towards the end for me. It's faint. It's not like wow walnut.
Yeah, maybe
like,
a bit of like praline type thing.
Something like that. It's more of a.
Yeah, it's praline. I like that.
Beautiful though. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the interesting things. I mean, it's an imperial porter. It's not an imperial stout. I mean, you don't have the kind of the big kind of like toasted, kind of like incinerated, kind of roasted barley type flavors where you'll be getting chocolate and coffee and things like that. It's definitely on the on the fruitier side of things. I mean, if you didn't tell me what this is, I might have thought like old ale, or look to beers like, I'm not saying Fuller's vintage. It's like Fuller's vintage with a bit more kind of like roast to it, and then a load of bourbon. It's more on the kind of like sweeter berry side of things for me. But then with like big, rich, earthy tones, opposed to kind of like the roast. It's more toasty than roasty, I guess I'd say.
I'm getting a kind of a like a liqueur kind of thing with it, like a cherry liqueur.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely cherry. But rich and kind of like quite. I think maybe that's where the tamarind's coming in as well. I mean, my most recent experience with tamarind was at Northern Monk, which was the single time I've had a little nip of this beer, and it was a they had a on site Thai kind of kitchen kind of street food vendor who was on site for a while. I don't know if it's still there, and they it was duck and with tamarind, and so for me it always takes me back to that moment, which is quite, it's spicy, but it's earthy and slightly plum-like and things like that. And I think I'm getting that in this, which it's an earthy spice, and quite rich. Kind of, it comes as like a paste, doesn't it? This tamarind. So I think you're getting the residual prickle of the bit of the chili, but I think the depth of it, which is unstout-like, unmalty, is probably tamarind.
I mean, it's about a minute since I've had a sip, and it's almost giving off that there's a slight creaminess just lingering on the mouth, on the palate, like a trifle. So that kind of that kind of
a decadent trifle, that's for sure.
Yeah, but but obviously I've not for a minute or so, and it's like but it's hanging around. I like it. It's good.
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of Bakewell tart-esque as well, a little bit. I don't know if it's marzipan or a load of like quite a rich almond liqueur or something like that.
Definitely liqueur-y, and it's good.
It's not hard work at all.
Not at all for 14.
I'm not feeling it like normally with a big beer, you sort of feel it all the way down. Whereas this isn't doing that to me. I'm not getting like an alcohol burn or anything. It's really drinkable, really dangerous.
I mean, I don't think you would want. I wouldn't want any more than one bottle of this, even though it's very good. I just think the sweetness would probably.
It's full on.
By the end of the bottle, I think the sweetness would just something else.
Yeah.
All right, 14% beer. That should be your last beer. Well, yeah, probably, but depends how you feel, doesn't it? If you've had a bad day or something, you'd come home and drink one of these, and you think, "Yeah, I feel better now."
Yeah, you'd feel better after one of these.
I feel like you need like a smoking jacket and a leather wing-tipped armchair and a smouldering log fire and
a cigar.
And like a shooting dog at your feet.
Yeah.
Something kind of
snowing outside.
Yeah, a nice cigar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cigar and
it's good stuff.
A nice book.
But yeah, no, that's
kind of thing.
It is fantastic. I mean, it is I think just over the entire kind of range of beers that we've taken a look at tonight. Obviously, I knew about the Koda, but obviously I remember drinking that first time round. They're all kind of beers for me that slightly unexpected, but all very, very good.
Yeah. It's very impressive. All three. In styles of beer, I mean, I just think they're all on for what their styles of beer they are. They're all on the same kind of level for their style for sure. It's just impressive stuff.
It sort of shows the value in picking stuff up just to give it a go, because you can, when you look at a bottle, like a lot of stuff goes through your mind, like the branding, the price, all that sort of thing. But sometimes you just got to give it a go, and you'll be so surprised.
And then you think, yeah, I'm glad I bought that. All right, it cost me whatever it is, and it's like,
or you'll go, bloody hell, I paid $5 for that, and it was shit.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's the gamble. That's the gamble.
And everyone's got different palates as well, of course. But yeah, this is it opens up different kind of bourbon barrel aged Imperial porter. It's like, don't really drink many of those, so
yeah,
not at 14%.
No,
especially ones with chili and tamarind.
No, not hasn't happened until now. So.
Well, yeah, that was one of the points that came up earlier. I'm glad Jake kind of like just mentioned it. Then it's the whole. Why do you make the beer choices that you make? I mean, do you make them because you want to be challenged? Do you make them because you want something familiar and reassuring and interesting, kind of easygoing? I mean, I think I'm prone to that nowadays in my advanced years of this nonsense. It's kind of like it's easy to just go like, oh yeah, I get fucking loads of, I got a load of Verdant and just drink all that juice. Get it down my face.
Yeah, but then sometimes
I guess this is the wonderful kind of like situation where you kind of like you it's something you're not expecting. Maybe if you you pick up that you're thinking juice bomb. It's not a juice bomb. Pick up that thinking juice bomb. No, not juice bomb. Pick up that thinking I don't know what the fucking hell to expect, but it absolutely delivers in spades in their own unique way with their own kind of like unique personalities. I guess I think that's where the excitement in beer always lies in it. I mean, it did from when you first. It's that voyage of discovery, I guess, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, I put this in the category of Sister Agnes from Marble that we had from our first show, second show. It's got that. It's on that kind of. It's a big beer. It's not something you generally go and pick up. It's another one of those. Really fantastic. Really good.
Exactly, but you should.
Yeah, you definitely should.
You might overlook it because it does seem a bit
good.
Maybe not what you'd normally go for, but yeah, I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I mean, some people might still be put off by the ABV as well, 14%. I know quite a few years ago when I first started drinking, they used to scare me a bit. But now I'm like, you just got to go and try one of these things, and then, all right, it might be a bit, but then once you get into the beer,
well, you still hear it now. If you go to a traditional pub and there's something bordering on the 6-7 mark,
6%, 6%.
People are like, "What? A 6% beer?" And you're like,
loopy juice.
It's quite funny.
Yeah, beer is funny.
But then if you're drinking a pint of it, then another pint, yeah,
it will mess you up.
Them, but then if you just have a half, what are you having a half for? But it's that kind of weird mentality we've got in the UK sometimes when it comes to that kind of level of beer in the pub. I'd say it's that very sort of traditional mentality rather than sort of like the like craft mentality, which is sort of you have the correct measure of the beer. You don't drink a pint of 9% beer. you have a third of it. Oh well, that's just that's just, there was a no
which
news day.
Should be common sense, but
that was just a no news day, and they thought, oh, we'll put that in the news today. It's just one of them stories, isn't it? Just people who don't really understand how it all works reporting on something that is, and that's the way it is.
3/3 in succession of the same high ABV beer is completely different.
Exactly. You go to a festival and you drink 3/3 of a 14% stout. That's entirely different.
Yeah, it's not the same. Not the same. Never done that.
Indeed. No.
Never.
Not in the same hour.
Like a half of like a strong ABV beer and going, oh, that was wonderful. Another half.
Yeah, another pint, please.
Terrible idea. So just before we bid everyone farewell, we've been quite lax with the comments tonight. We really do appreciate the comments. You just got caught up in amazing beer. I mean, we do appreciate your interaction.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna quickly whisk through the comments. So Matt Staniforth, hello, Matt, how you doing? Same to Thomas McCarthy. Hello, Tom. How you doing? Clueless Drinker. Peter says, hi, chaps. Chugging on a King Goblin while you drink all this craft swill. Thank you very much. And then we're joined by BeerTube Royalty, massive beer reviews. Thank you very much, Matt, for joining us. I'm sure it's kind of like, goodness knows what time it is there. It's like lunchtime or something. But yeah, big thanks for joining us. He says, I have some Verdant and Cloudwater in transit as I type. Excited to see what you UK fellas have to offer. You mean, yeah, well, and he mentions what he's got in a minute, so you've got some great stuff coming. Richard Bennett of the Pilot Brewery, the Mumbles, and Beer Riff as well. This is making do with black malts and body salts. That's a beautiful beer. I love that beer. When I launched Dead Metaphor at my local Brewdog bar, I was allowed to choose 2 beers. I chose Cannonball from Magic Rock and black malts and body salts. Love that beer. Then Daniel Parkinson and Matt from Massive Beer Reviews having a bit of chain wag about what they've got. So I think Matt's got Putty coming, the other half collab with Verdant, Cloudwater Small Nelson, and something else, and the Brasserie du Mont-Saint-Yves. Sour Saison. But yeah, Putty is incredible, Daniel. I completely agree. It is very Trillium-esque, and it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Rocker Stoker, who's a regular commenter, thank you very much for joining us again. He says WXY3 is out next week. That's the Weilermond. Yep. Have you had that before? And then PA Brew News, our beloved Paul says, "Sexy, sexy, sexy."
Yeah. The oven seller of stouts reviewer. PA News Brews Reviews.
And then the ever-present Rory Lee, thank you very much for joining us as always, sir. Says, Siren is still quality. I'm from Reading. They're hoping to get down to their tap room soon. I can go to their tap room. Maybe that's an outing at some point. Reading, you mean Kevin Black's place? What are they called? New. I forgot what Kevin's brewery is called. It's like an NW. I mean, I think he's in that area. Elusive are down there, so I think maybe that's something we should plan in the future. An outing to Reading. As exotic as that sounds, there's some good beer going down in Reading. Beautiful beer review says, massive. Have you drank your astronaut status yet? I don't know. You ask him. Then finally, probably the best way to sound off is with Paul from Beer Brew News. I'm not going to use your last one. I'm going to do them the other way around because Paul says to all new beer, black malts and Tide Pods. Fair enough. That's one for all you youngsters, all you millennials. And I'm going to finish with the beer and the reviewer. Sexy, sexy, sexy. Looking forward to hitting Cloudwater with all you guys. Cheers. No, I think that's a bit more of an appropriate way. Apart from us just. But yes, as always, just a quick reminder for all you viewers: if you've not done it already, well, why don't you do it? Because it's a good deal. So yes, go on honestbrew.co.uk, type in Good Beer Live. You get £10 off and you get free postage. That's a right old deal just for spending a bit of a the Friday night before payday. So you're all skin. Only beer you're drinking is what you got in the house. So that's why you're here, and that's why you're not drinking out and about. But we do appreciate your interaction and watching. This is something we're going to hopefully build over the months. It's always fun. So I love to say big thanks to my brothers in beer, my BeerTube cohorts, Craig and Jake. Thank you very much for joining me. Well, it was collectively. In fact, big thanks to Honest Brew for supplying these beers, and they are all absolutely fantastic.
Indeed.
And Craig, I think you've got the next 3 beers. We haven't announced the date of when we're doing the next one, but we've got the next 3 beers. So get on Honest Brew. take advantage of the discount and buy these free beers.
So this is one of the recent trilogy from Northern Monk, and this is their collaboration with 18th Street Brewery in America, and this is their yeast double dry hop saison. The light's poor, but you get the gist. So yeah, that's one. Sticking with America, from the Pelican Brewery. This is there. What is it?
Tsunami.
Yes, Tsunami, yeah. Imperial Stout, 7%er. From Sweden. Now, is this a collab? Yes, it is. From Brewski and Ale Farm Brewing in Denmark. This is a very familiar named beer. The light is rubbish, so you can't see it, but yeah. Stone the Crows.
Stone the Crows!
Yeah, so that's coming soon. So you've got a bit of time to get on Honest Brew, get these beers. Hope they're all still available.
And drink along with us.
And drink along with us.
That'd be really so we can say it on camera and look smart.
Yeah, and we might learn something. We might learn something, or I will. So, yeah.
Completely steal your tasting notes and pass them off as our own.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Stone the Crows beer, we just had to do it. I mean, obviously it's Simon's catchphrase, but if you read the label, it's kind of like it's a tribute to all the beer tubing people all around the world. I think it's such a fitting beer to have. So yes, so get an Honest Brew, pick up those beers, drink along next time, and you'll find it on social media. We're not hard to find. We'll be spamming your various kind of streams.
We'll be spamming your boxes
in the lead up to the next broadcast. But yeah, it's been a fun Friday night. Until next time, see you later.
Cheers.
Cheers.